G'day, Pickleball family. Welcome to the August 31 update on the Professional Pickleball 2 Awards. Let's move straight into what's transpired in the past 24 hours and let's find out the latest player signings and the movements, the good and the bad and the ugly, as we find out the latest in the 2 Awards number 2, what's currently playing out. Let's move forward first to an excellent article here from the pickleballunion.com written by Jane Holland around the intrigue on and off the court at the recent Kansas City PPA Open held this past weekend. Let's move forward to see what actually happened there with that article. Now, Jane Holland goes on to write, and paraphrasing here as well, that the temperature wasn't the only thing heating up in Kansas City this weekend. When the tournament kicked off on Thursday, August 24, everyone's biggest concern was the brutal temperature, which reached over 100 degrees, leading to rare mandatory hydration breaks in the middle of games. Of course, things shifted quickly on Thursday night when Major League Pickleball started signing lucrative multi-year contracts to players, effectively ending merger negotiations with the PPA. This development affected the players because they were being asked to choose between signing with the PPA or MLP while playing multiple tournament events in the heat, no doubt with heat exhaustion, I'm sure. The decision could have massive consequences for their careers, and the pressure to choose quickly was intense. Jane goes on to report that she heard about secret phone calls taking place in every corner of the venue between matches. I am sure every nook and cranny of the recent PPA Kansas City Open was full of players with their family, friends, and or management with their phones running hot as things played out. Let's move across next to an excellent tweet from Rob Nunnery of Pro Pickleball fame. Rob Nunnery being a top male player, and also worth a follow on your Pro Pickleball social media feeds if you like things spicy and full of opinions, observations, and insights from a Pro Pickleball athlete perspective. I'll also come to Leah Jansen, who's of a similar ilk, later in the bulletin. But Rob Nunnery retweeted here on August 29, a tweet he sent out on August 2, 2022. His tweet on August 29, when the MLP and PPA Tour Awards started going down, was that top 50 D1 and top 500 WTA, Women's Tennis Association players, could literally send an email and get a pro contract right now. Back in August 2022, Nunnery had tweeted here that the lowest hanging fruit in pro sports is high level women's tennis players converting to pro pickleball. If you're talented and work for a year at pickleball, you're pretty much guaranteed a six-figure income playing and teaching a tiny bit of pro sport. It's there for the taking. How wise and prescient of Nunnery, because that's actually come true. As we move across now to the PPA Tour X feed, or formerly known as Twitter feed, I'm not sure what to call it these days, as we move across and look at their latest X's or tweets. I'm not sure what to call those either. As we move across to the PPA Tour, we can see here, and I'll come back to this at the top, their most recent tweet or X regarding Ben Johns. But if we look through their latest raft of player signings, Nunnery's wise observation or insight just over a year ago now, we look at the latest signings and we come down to what he predicted. We have Boston College tennis star and team captain Jackie Urbanati joining the PPA Tour. And then if we move down to just preceding that one, we have here three-time ITA All-American and two-time Big Ten Athlete of the Year, Kate Fay, signing exclusively with the PPA Tour and their Vibe Pickleball Tour League. So is this early sign of things to come with pro female tennis athletes taking up the big money being splashed around now by the PPA and MLP tours? Only time will tell. Watch that space. Very wise prediction of you, Rob Nunnery. Let's move across now. Actually, I'll just round out. I did say to you, I'd just bring up here as we move to their most recent tweet, and this is definitely being overshadowed, but an amazing achievement and feat all the same. But Ben Johns, the GOAT of pickleball, only one gold medal away from his 100th gold medal. His total title count to date, 30 singles titles, 33 doubles titles, and 36 mixed doubles titles, 18 triple crowns. One wonders if this will be a hollow gold medal for him with the split that's now occurred between all the players on the PPA and MLP tours. Let's move across now to the Major League Pickleball to check out their latest tweets or X's to see what's transpired with their latest signings. As we look through their raft of low-level, low-tier player signings on the Major League Pickleball Tour. And nothing really newsworthy of note there to report on the MLP Twitter stream. Let's move across to the Dink Pickleball's Twitter feed and what transpired from a Dink Pickleball perspective. Great account to follow. I highly suggest you follow Thomas Shields and the team at the Dink Pickleball, putting out great content around all of this. And as we move here, we can see that the Dink Pickleball has announced that although Althoff Merchant, the PPA announced Althoff Merchant, they have confirmed that Merchant has not signed with the organisation. Unclear what happened here. Now, just expanding on that further, we can see here on the Dink that they brought up here as we go into their account that the Dink announced that 6 hours ago, the PPA had announced and then retracted very quickly on their Twitter feed that they had signed Althoff Merchant to the PPA Tour. Now, not good optics for Connor Pardo and the team at PPA Tour headquarters, I'm sure. So let's move across now to Leah Jansen, whom I mentioned earlier is also a great follow as well on the socials, especially on Twitter, because she, like Rob Nunnery, not backward in coming forward with giving her insights as a pro pickleball athlete. Leah Jansen, firstly, 12 hours ago here, tweeted that seeing all players who signed a MLP 2024 contract taken off the PPA website before the 2023 season ends just confirms the choice I made was absolutely correct. Happy to have chosen the professional organisation. Just to give further context to this, on what has not been an ideal day for the PPA Tour social management team at their PPA Tour headquarters, and also Connor Pardo as the CEO and founder of the PPA Tour, given the optics and how this plays out from a PR perspective for the PPA Tour. The PPA Tour had removed all the MLP signings, the MLP players that had gone across and signed with the MLP Tour from their rankings, their player listings on the PPA Tour website. They have since gone on to reinstate them, and Leah Jansen followed up with a tweet after that occurred, and that was that, lol, in an amazing turn of events, now the MLP players are back in the rankings at PPA Tour. You guys aren't tricky, and everyone already saw. Might as well keep us off. So not a good day from the PPA Tour's PR perspective. Let's move across now as we round this out with excellent updates from how things have played out now with the latest signings on both teams, both camps, both tours from Maggie Ramins, well worth a follow, former D1 college tennis player turned pro pickleball athlete. And we can see here that Maggie has reported in her excellent infographic, as I enlarge that for you, that we currently have 89 signed MLP players and 48 signed PPA players, with the average age in the MLP signings being 29, PPA 30. The breakdown of men and women on the MLP being 44 men, 45 women, and in the PPA, even at 24 men, 24 women. If you found any of this informative or helpful, be sure to dink that like button. Paddles up.